With the first day of 49ers training camp in the books, it's hard to go the entire day without talking about the risers from 49ers training camp. Now, I wasn't there, so I have to rely on all my other quality beat reporters who are out there in the front lines getting all the coverage. I'll be there tomorrow, but until then, there's some interesting things to come out of these reports. I've listened to multiple from guys that I actually trust, and everything kind of aligned. So I feel comfortable in bringing this to you. But like I said, I'll be there tomorrow to give you my firsthand take on it all. Can't wait for that. But let's talk about who was rising today at 49ers training camp. So the best play that I've heard described from training camp was a Brock Purdy throw to Eric Saubert. Um, it was a situation where he had to get it over a defender and put it in a spot where only Saubert could get it. And so it was a great location, great accuracy. Again, in the NFL, the margin of being open is so paper thin. Sometimes it's literally half a body. When quarterbacks have to be pinpoint accurate to be able to ensure the ball is in the right location, that only your guy could get it. So that was one of the best throws of camp that we heard about. It was a connection from Brock Purdy to new tight end Eric Saubert, who Brock talked about the connection that they've kind of built early on throughout the OTA and mandatory minicamp process. So maybe he's a tight end that could potentially push on Cam Latu's roster spot. So we'll have to see what happens there. I think Danny Gray is a name that I've heard consistently, not only today, but through the offseason program. And this is a guy that I'm very interested to see because I've seen it with my own eyes. I've been to training camp. I think it was 2 years ago, maybe last year. I believe it was 2 years ago, where Danny Gray had a practice where he was the best wide receiver in training camp that particular day. So he has shown that he's a talented guy. That's not the problem. I think for Danny Gray heading into year 3, it's just bringing it all together. He has the speed. He was a guy that I really liked coming out of SMU. He was a guy that I was really excited for the 49ers to draft because not only was he a speed guy, but I could see him win contested catches consistently, win over the middle, yards after catch. He was a speed guy, but he brought different elements to the game. And that's why I really liked Danny Gray. And he was drafted in the 3rd round. Now, it hasn't panned out, but this might be it for him. And this is his last opportunity to take advantage of these reps. And so far, it sounds like Danny Gray is doing that. Now, we got to wait till pads come on. And again, for me with Danny Gray, I want to see it consistently. I don't want to see it for one day. I want to see it day in, day out, every opportunity, take advantage of it. And that's how he is going to make gain some ground on this team. A guy that has been impressing back to the kind of mini camp spring situation has been cornerback Isaac Yiadom. As it sounds, I'm reading this from Nick Wagner of ESPN. He's saying that there was a really nice pass breakup on a pass intended for Deebo Samuel, and it comes across as if Isaac Yiadom was in great position, great coverage, great execution. And that's kind of what we had been hearing when the 49ers signed him. We did a little bit of research into him, and he was instantly inserted into that 3rd cornerback spot that we've been looking for. Obviously, the 49ers drafted Renardo Green, and you have some younger guys like Darrell Luter heading into year 2. But Isaac Yiadom has the opportunity to potentially do what we thought the nickel cornerback that we brought in last year was going to do. Now, obviously, that didn't work out at all. He got benched mid-season, and he's no longer on the team. So Isaac Yiadom has the opportunity to step into that role. We got a kicker update. Jake Moody, baby, went 4 of 4 on field goals, all of which he made. Which is fantastic. The longest one he had was from 51 yards. Obviously, Jake Moody had a bit of a bumpy rookie season, but I think all things considered, he turned out to be a pretty solid kicker. and considering all the pressure on him being a third round draft pick and, obviously being on a win now team puts a lot of focus on the inexperienced kicker. But it's good to hear that he went 4 for 4 on the day. But I think as it stands right now, the guy that might have the most momentum, especially for a younger player, is Malik Mustafa. And this is huge because obviously Talanoa Hufanga isn't participating. He's on PUP. We don't know when he will return after he's recovering from an ACL injury. So you need guys like Malik Mustafa to step in. And apparently he had probably the play of the day on the defensive side where he had an interception, and it was intended for Danny Gray on a pass from Joshua Dobbs. Apparently, the way I've heard it explained is Malik Mustafa was playing center field, and he had to eat up a lot of ground to come over the top towards the sideline to snatch the ball away from Danny Gray. And apparently there was a Jennings fumble. He was in the mix with that. So everything that I'm hearing so far from multiple people are saying that Malik Mustafa is a guy that we can't sleep on. And with the situation with Talanoa Hufanga, he's going to get a lot of reps. So he has the opportunity to take advantage of all these reps, and that could be extremely beneficial for a guy in his rookie season. Now, obviously, we want to see Talanoa Hufanga come back. That would be an ideal scenario where you get him back to his all-pro form. But the 49ers did make the investment in the fourth round in the kid out of Wake Forest, and it appears he's making the most of it. And we've seen the photos of this guy just through his training process. He looks like he was built in the same laboratory that Nick Bosa was built in, just football guys, man, in every sense. So these are the guys that have been ascending so far. So I can't wait to get my eyes on these players at training camp. I will be there tomorrow to be able to assess for myself. I will bring all my notes. I will bring you my evaluations. As you guys know, if you are unfamiliar with this channel, I am big on player evaluation. This will be my fourth training camp that I will have the opportunity to cover in person. So I'm looking very much to that. And these are some of the guys that I will absolutely have my eye on tomorrow to see if they can be consistent and duplicate these efforts and start stacking days, because that's what training camp is all about. Stacking reps, stacking days, stacking weeks, stacking years. And that is how you build a successful career. Can't wait to get the training camp tomorrow. I will see you guys there. Make sure you turn on post notifications. I'm going to be posting like crazy to all my platforms. So make sure you're locked in. And of course, as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.